What's happening, party people? Happy Motivational Monday. Just wanted to give a quick topic on the importance and the necessity of utilizing leverage and the power of residual. So, when you think about your educational journey from elementary school to junior high and high school, for most people, unfortunately, in these foundational years, K through 12, very few, if any, have gotten any extensive training and education on the power of creating leverage, how to produce residual income, the importance of it, earning income 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in multiple time zones. These were not topics that were covered in my formative years. And as a matter of fact, the only thing that I can remember is learning how to open up a savings account and the beginning of balancing a checkbook. And it didn't go much further than that. Now, that may have something to do with the fact that most people that are teaching are not coming from a solid foundation in terms of their financial education. So why would they feel inclined to add it to the curriculum? And because the educational system was created for two benefits: one, to train people how to go into the workforce, because the educational system was developed at the same time that the Industrial Revolution was happening. So they needed individuals to go into these factory jobs and help to produce and boost the economy. And then the other part of the educational system was designed for people to go into the military. So those two aspects were the primary focus of the outcome of our educational system. I'm talking about the States. Now, in your country, it might be a little bit different, I don't know. But in the United States, that's what it was based on. The Prussia educational system was stolen from and modeled in terms of the American educational system. So there's no incentive to teach people how to be financially independent, how to utilize the power of leverage, how to create residual income. There was nothing incentivized in that, so it didn't happen. Now, when you leave high school, I'm sure many of you have a story that is similar to mine, which is I didn't get any additional or further education in finances either. So I went and I got undergraduate degree training. I got a training in a master's degree. I got a lot more education, another 7 years worth. And when you look at the structure, I was encouraged to take on a lot of debt, student loan debt, in order to get higher education, even though I didn't have any financial education and I didn't get it from home. My parents didn't come from money, so we were not having wealth conversations at the kitchen table either. So what happened with me, which I'm sure some of you can relate to, was that I had 20,000 meals with the wrong financial planners. Now, that's not an indictment on my family. It's just the way that it was. And I'm sure many of you can relate. If your parents didn't come from money, if they were not taught wealth principles, well, what do they have to pass on to their kids? So that's a cycle where things are not happening and we're missing out on these things. This is why, with my son, I want him to be able to get education and have these conversations like now. We're going to be teaching him certain principles as he's developing and growing, because our responsibility is to make sure that we do better. We all have to do better. Now, all of that being said, you may have a job, you may have a profession that you're really good at, okay? And the job, it may pay you well, it may not, I don't know. But I do understand that when you work, most people have a salary or they're working at an hourly rate. And in order for you to have an increase in that situation, that typically is going to be based on an annual raise or a quarterly raise based on your performance. You may be incentivized to perform at a certain level or sell a certain number of packages in your job, and you get a bonus off of that. But for most people, the raise that they're getting is criminal. It's not even in lockstep with inflation. I know people that have been on jobs for over 10 years and haven't gotten a raise in 10 years. So there is a limitation to that because there's a ceiling on the income that can be earned based on that job. And if you wanted to, or you had the desire to double or triple your income, the chances are that that's not available in your current situation. And if you're working at an hourly rate, it's definitely not available there. So you're looking at a situation where people have a salary and then they have to work their lives around that. And because there's only one of you and there's only 24 hours in a day, that permanent ceiling stays in place. Now, you may have a specialty, okay? Maybe you are an attorney, a doctor, a surgeon, you may be an accountant, so you have your own business, a mechanic, you have your own enterprise, but it's still depending upon you showing up and performing that task. And if you don't show up and perform that task, you do not get paid. So again, you may make more income. You might be a six or multiple six-figure earner in that category, but there's still no leverage. And there's still a ceiling because there's only so many cars you can work on in a day. There's only so many clients you can service in a day and all of that, unless you're going to start building a business. So we know that when you look at Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, there's two sides to it. The left side has employees and self-employed. On the right side, you have business owners and investors. So employees and self-employed make up about 95% of the population, okay? Blake, please stop doing that. And then on the right side, you have 5% of the population, and that's business owners and investors. So if you're an employee or you're self-employed, then you're trading hours for dollars. We call that linear income. If you don't show up and trade an hour of your life and do a certain task, you're not going to get paid. And there are more people that work at a salary, and maybe they had an agreement of 40 or 45 hours a week, but in reality, they're putting in 60 or more hours a week because of overtime and things of that nature, but they don't get paid for it because it's included in their salary. I know plenty of teachers who take their work home and are up late grading papers and going in early, and they're putting in a lot more than the hours that are allotted for the salary that they earn. That's become accepted as the norm, okay? Now, on the right side of the equation, if you're a business owner, it means that you're building something and it requires other individuals to participate. So now you're creating leverage because it goes just beyond your individual efforts. If you're investing, it means that you're putting your money to work for you instead of you just going to work for it. So now you're starting to generate and create a situation where income is being created 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in multiple time zones because it's not just about you. So it's important that you understand the power of leverage and the importance of creating residual. Now, residual income means it's an income that is going to continuously come in every single month, even on a month that maybe you don't work. Maybe you have to go away for a month because you have to take care of someone, or maybe you got to take time out for sabbatical, whatever. The income continues to come in at the same rate, if not higher, than when you left. So residual income comes in the same way that your monthly bills come in. Your monthly bills come in regardless. If you got laid off from your job, the bills are still going to come. If there's a pay freeze, the bills are going to come. If someone gets sick unexpectedly and you have to help take care of them financially, the bills are still going to come. If you're going through a divorce, the bills are still going to come. So we know that residual bills is a reality for 99% of the population. Therefore, in my humble opinion, it is a must that you build a residual income, an income that comes in every single month without fail, whether you like it or not. So the question is, how do you go about building that? How do you go about educating yourself on how to create that? So if you look at this chart here, you'll see that On the bottom level, it's you, and then you go to your job or you do your specialty, and there's only 24 hours in a day, and so there's a limit to what you can do. Okay. On the top, it's you, but then you enroll person 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you see there's a 24 in each circle. Okay, so now instead of just your 24 hours in a day, you actually have you plus 4 other people. That's almost 125 hours in the same day. Now, if you have you plus 4 people all working in sync, all working in unison towards an objective of creating residual income, that's what I call a win-win situation, because now I'm able to generate income, my friend is, and so on and so forth, but we're working in unison. So we're able to put 125, almost 125 hours of effort in the same day, as just opposed to me by myself trying to work, 16 hours a day. Okay? So understanding leverage, how to create it, understanding the importance of building a residual income, it's crucial. It's key. It's very key to your ability to increase your financial portfolio, to increase your position, and to be more financially responsible. Frankly, it's irresponsible. Jim Collins wrote a book called From Good to Great. New York Times bestselling author, was on the list for many years, and in the book he talks about the fact that if you're someone that takes all of your eggs and puts them in someone else's basket, and you're solely dependent upon that one source of income, he calls that living in the danger zone. Because if something happens and that income goes away, what are you going to do? If you get laid off, downsize, right size, capsize, what are you going to do? If you're not able to work, God forbid you get physically injured and you can't work for a couple of months, what are you going to do? So it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. This is why you want to get properly educated. Now, network marketing gives you the opportunity to have a business with a low startup cost and a lot of upside based on your sweat equity, where you can build a healthy residual income that can sustain you and yours for many, many years to come, if you're building it correctly in terms of the proper structure and if you understand the opportunity that you're a part of. So getting educated about that, our profession of network marketing is important. Understanding the dynamics of monetizing your network is important, because I know a lot of people who are saddled with debt. They have credit card debt, student loan debt, they have auto loans, they have a house loan, a mortgage that's hanging over their head, medical expenses, and they don't see any way out anytime soon because they are limited with their current income on their job and or their specialty. So they're kind of running on this hamster wheel and they're not really making a lot of progress. Well, what if you had a residual income that was coming in every month that was a few dollars higher than the total of your monthly expenses? And this is on top of what you're doing in your job or your specialty. That would give you some breathing room. That would give you an opportunity to start getting ahead, to paying down those bills and then paying them off and then getting to zero and start building your kids' education fund or start building your retirement or what have you. But it's about positioning yourself and getting properly educated. I was shocked when I got introduced to the profession of network marketing that I'd never heard of it before. I consider myself fairly educated. I have an honors degree from Morehouse College. I have a master's degree from Yale University, and I've traveled around the world more than more than most. And I was shocked that I had not heard of network marketing. I felt incredibly excited and empowered, but I also felt incredibly ignorant because I didn't know anything about it. So understanding the principles of success and building a residual income, understanding and getting educated about business and how that works, these are some of the things that I would encourage you to open yourselves up to if you're really wanting to get ahead financially. Now, maybe you already have more money coming in every month than you can possibly spend. Maybe your job is paying you over $1 million a year, and so you have no desire for residual income and you have a great plan. Fantastic, but most people are not in that situation. So if doesn't apply to you, then find someone who it does apply to, because I guarantee you know someone who can benefit from this information right here. So I encourage you to share this YouTube link with your friends and just to open up the conversation. I'm on social media. I'm here on YouTube, obviously, but I'm on social media. You can direct message me on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm having conversations every single day. I meet new people every single day, and they want to know, how has residual income impacted you? I got introduced to the concept almost 10 years ago. And it was within my first 12 months. Actually, it was less than that. It was probably my first 3 to 4 months. I started to earn a residual income, and it changed my life. Once you have a residual income, you'll never, ever go backwards. You'll never, ever settle for anything less than what you know you deserve. So here we are 10 years later, and having the opportunity to be a full-time stay-at-home dad and spend time with my kids and do the things that are important from a family perspective, but also being able to build and give myself a raise at will, because it's based on my sweat equity, my work ethic. It's based on the effort that I'm putting forth. I don't have to be a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon, but I can generate income that are the equivalent of a rocket science and a brain surgeon because of this incredible profession of network marketing. So knowing that we are over 75 years in terms of our profession, a lot longer than that we're creating a slew of first-time self-made millionaires, more than most other professions that you can think of or name of, that we give people an opportunity. It's an equal opportunity for individuals to create success and to create the financial success that they can't do on their job. They can't give themselves a quadruple raise on their job, but they know they can create that for themselves if they're willing to go to work over the next give it 18 months, 36 months, 5 years, to give themselves that type of lifestyle where they know, hey, I can do in network marketing in 2 to 5 years what I can never do in 40 years on my job. So get educated, get the right information, look at some opportunities, ask questions. Don't be ignorant, don't be closed, because closed minds, fixed mindsets don't ever grow. Your financial situation will never change. So I encourage you just to get informed and start looking at some opportunities, because it's a great profession. It has radically changed our lives and given us a lot of opportunity to impact other people as well, and we're going to continue to do that. So just wanted to give you some words on residual income, creating leverage, what can happen when you begin to monetize your networks, and we'll keep it coming. All right, have an awesome and amazing rest of your Motivational Monday. See you soon. Boom!